Okay, what we have here is a 1963 GM PD4106 bus. It's been converted, and I'm going to take first little video thing I'm going to take is just a quick go around, and then later on I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into detail, open up bay doors and explain the good and the bads. Okay, I'm going to go around now and just kind of show some things about the bus. I know video doesn't capture everything, but full disclosure with the bus, you know, it's 1963, so it's not perfect. And you can tell that, you know, it's got paint. It's coming off in certain spots. And there is area up front there. There's some rust there. Up in the front, it must be a different material. I know it's aluminum everywhere else, but there's some rust here, little kind of rust spots here. Nothing's changed since we've owned it. We've had it for about 3 years, and just kind of the aluminum stuff here. All in all, I mean, it's very solid, but when you get up close, it's not a beauty queen. Let's see here. Going back, one really good thing about it, I guess, with these buses, these windows are, you can't find them unless you find them off another bus. There is a broken one here, but this looks intact and this is intact. As you can see, there's a little bit of this coming off here, a little bit of rust up here, but when I picked it up from Tennessee, and it was in Vermont for a while prior to that. This is something also, this tailgate happened when I had it. This is probably the worst part of it. I had to put this thing here because it seems like it folds in. That's not here. And this part kind of came off here. But otherwise, it works good. The engine is very strong. There's very little smoke on a warm day when you start it up, which is very normal, and I'll get a video of that a little bit later on there. And the muffler here too, there's a part where it's kind of detached, but it runs just fine, and you can get there is a alternative muffler thing you can get for this, but it runs great. On cold days, it definitely, you know, like most of the buses, you'll have a little bit more smoke than normal. Okay, there's a bay door here, the transmission, and then this right here, unfortunately, I went off a curb. Didn't realize it. I was watching the sunset and this thing got bent up and this panel came off, and I had to drive back when I realized the panel was off, and I was able to get it, and we put metal brackets in. In fact, I have metal brackets for all around because some of this rubber has come off on a couple of the panels here, but I haven't put them on, but I do have them. And just to show you what we got here. So right here we have, that's the fresh water tank right there. Actually, a fresh water tank, and then we have a black water tank. There's a water heater. There is a water pump. I have it disconnected, but that comes with it. This is how much storage there is here. It's a lot of storage. People could sleep under there. Okay. Gas tank. I'll get the key to open it, but this is where the gas goes. A 160-gallon tank. Generator runs off it too. Where other supplies and stuff. I have some oil. 40 weight for the engine. Let's see here. Around here, everything works here. There is a little chip, but when I bought it, there was a chip in the windshield, and there still is. And let's go around here, the panels. A lot of different storage areas here. So I've got a little bit of grease in there that I greased some of the zerts back there. I'll keep these open and close them up later. This is coming off right here. So again, with those hinges, but as you can see in here, there's a toolbox. You can get in there, and that slides out. This is a 7,500 watt diesel generator in here, and it's got low hours on it. How did I get this thing open here? This is how we do it. There we go. Okay. These things go on forever. So I've got 1749 on there. This runs off the gas tank, so it's definitely live off it for a long time. Okay, it's coming down. There we go. This just goes to the other compartment, as you saw on the other side. This one is all the way off right here, unfortunately, but still, you can still use it. Just takes a little more to put it up and down. This is all the battery bank in here. Here's where you drain everything out. That's 4 deep cycle batteries, and they're newer. As you can see, the date on them, this is 521. Yeah, that runs all the good stuff inside. Here's the 8C batteries that start it. The tires are older tires. Even though there's a lot of tread on them, it's going to be a good idea to replace them. I'm not going to do that. Someone else may want to put slightly smaller ones on them. This bus will go about 85 miles an hour right now, and follow me. But with smaller tires, you'll be able to, of course, do a little bit different gear ratio, head up the hills a little better, but you'll lose some of that top end. Oh, this right here, unfortunately, too, had a newer awning on it, and now I have them zip tied, but it came loose when I was driving. And so now the awning is ripped. You come in here. This is, I'll do a driving portion of the video too. This is one of the reasons why we're selling. My wife hasn't learned how to drive it. There's a lot to driving this thing, but once you get the hang of it, is not so bad. It is manual, and there's no sinkers on it, and there is no power steering on there. But as I'll show you in the video later, it's completely drivable. You get about 10 miles to the gallon, which is super good. And there's tons of storage in here. There's drawers everywhere, and this stuff is solid. This is not your regular like RV motorhome, something built in the 90s is falling apart now. This thing is super solid, and you can't even move it when you're in this thing. I mean, this thing is stable. I've got a burner here, 3 burners. Got one of those Newtone blender things in here. Tons of drawers, of course, here. Storage under here. That's where the furnace is. More storage back over here. At nighttime, I'll go ahead and show you the lights that I installed. So everything's LED. These, of course, you know, I mean, these are getting old. Some of these things are breaking. Everything's kind of functional. You can still live in it very well. This fridge is awesome. We have thermometers in here, and even in the heat, we've gotten this down to 10 degrees in here. And this will usually stay consistently at about in between 30 and about 40 on a really, really hot day. This works too, but we use our own little kind of toaster oven type thing. This is kind of neat. These things come out. They're heavy duty. This too. So you got 2 of those right there, which is really nice. Into the bedroom. Oh, this unit, AC unit, is newer. We replaced this last year. Front one works fine. This one works great. This is really cool. This is actually a Sleep Number bed. Controller's probably somewhere in here. But there's just tons of storage everywhere in this thing. The controller may be under here somewhere, I don't know. But anyway, you can adjust the settings. Very comfortable. And drawers everywhere, as you can see. There's even drawers under here, under the bed. I know it's kind of hard to move over that camera there, but there's drawers under there. Okay. And then if you want to come over here, Jenny, and I will. Here's the bathroom in here. You see a little medicine cabinet here. Drawers under here. Tons of drawers with latches. The toilet's good. The toilet has a little leak in it right here. I don't know how to replace it. If you can just replace this little part back over here or what. But when the pump's on, it'll start dripping. It doesn't spray out, but just a little drip. So we never really use it. We've never hooked up the pump after that. We just get our own pump shower in here because we usually boondock and all that kind of stuff. But it's a nice little area in here. And some of this is coming off from the heat and whatnot, the wallpaper. So there's a lot of little things that may not be so pretty, and a lot of things that are really nice. Again, super solid, and I will get also a video of this at nighttime too, so you can see all the lights. Okay, nighttime in the bus. Go ahead and enter. I pretty much converted most of it to LED. The kitchen ones and the kitchen light over there aren't LED. Those are the only ones that aren't on there, but we can easily turn those off. They got all the Fuse stuff here. This actually, I had to get a locksmith to come in because I lost the key to it. So it'll need a new key up here, a new little locking mechanism to stay up. Or just something to make it stay up there. Anyway, this is what it looks like at night. And you saw the kitchen lights on. This stuff can change colors too. Let's see, so if we wanted it blue, this goes blue. That one's already blue. Turn that one red if we wanted. There we go. So that's red now. And you can have them fade and do all sorts of crazy little things. These are all LED I installed, and then you can also have it so that's a night light too. There's the night light. They don't take very much power at all. Again, 1, 2 of these, you just touch them just like that. Boom, boom, boom. There. And then the same back here. These are all on different circuits. Here's the bedroom. Oh, these are the old lights that were in there too, but they're not as efficient. So if you're actually plugged in somewhere, then these are fine. But otherwise, boondocking, that's the way to go because they just don't take very much power. Of course, then we're in the bedroom back here. And they get brighter too, if you wanted them brighter. Oh, that's one thing too. These also dim and get brighter by if you just stick your hand on them. I don't know if you can see that. It's getting a lot brighter. And if I do it again, it's starting to get dimmer. I don't know if you saw that or not. The phone doesn't pick it up that great. Yeah. Oh, and then in the bathroom too. Yeah. And this can be different color also. And then we also have, I think I turned the circuit breaker off, but no, it's still on. There we go. Okay, it's now the morning time. It's about 70 degrees. And just wanted to show you this thing on cold start here. All air out of the system. Engine cold. And, oh, and why I'm walking in here. I don't think I mentioned on the other video. It looks like there was some water damage or something here at one time. This is by the entry window. This is how I bought it. It hasn't gotten any worse on there. So I don't know if maybe the seal was leaking at one time. These seals are all old all over. The windshield has some old seals and stuff on it. But otherwise, the thing doesn't leak. It's solid. As you can see, I mean, we're all aircraft aluminum out there. So, let's see here. Okay, let's get in here. Try to stay focused. And I'm going to make sure we got this thing in neutral. Looks like it. And real easy to do. It usually, I mean, if it's above 60 degrees, it starts right up. Hopefully it doesn't make me look like a liar. And here we go. There it goes. It started. That's how easy it is. As you can see, the engine is cold. And you'll hear that it kind of boom, boom, boom a little bit up. Let me put the fast idle on here. It likes to, when you're at idle, it likes to be at fast idle, but it's going to take a second for that to kick on. But let me come out here. I want you to see. So there's like minimal smoke out here. I mean, actually there's no smoke right now. Sometimes like if the weather's like 50 degrees, 40 degrees or whatever, you're going to get more smoke on startup, but then of course when it warms up you don't see anything. But yeah, looks pretty good. I don't know how many miles are on the rebuild, neither did the prior owner. I've had it for about 3 years, and I probably only put 7,000 miles on it total. I drove it back from Tennessee when I bought it. Yeah, that's, but I think the whole bus has, because it's flipped over, I'm sure, and like 1,112,000 or whatever. This thing's super solid. Engine, like I was saying, is very fast and very strong. Up the hills, it's slower. I think I mentioned in a prior part of the video, it'll do 85, not a problem. It'll cruise 80, and the wind doesn't affect it. If trucks come, you know, next to you or go in the other direction, this thing does not move. So yeah, so fast idle is going now. Why I'm in here, might as well show you here. This kind of shows the house batteries, and it looks like they're 12 point something volts. But if you want to charge while the engine's on, the engine charges it really good. And I'll hit, let's see, solenoid on. And now if I hit the test house batteries, you can see this charging up. there. It'll keep charging, which is really nice. The generator, I do want to mention on there, I don't know if it's charging at the 60 amps like it should when the generator's on. I'll show you that in a later video. But you can also hook up a regular charge as a plug in there, and it'll work just fine to charge up the batteries. But again, there's 4 deep cycles in there, and they're newer, so very new actually. Okay, air's pumping up now, as you can see. Don't want to do anything until it hits 90 on there. It says with pressure below 80, I'd wait till 90, but we usually it usually holds a little bit above 110, maybe sometimes 115 on there. So it's definitely holding well. And then out here, you'll start watching this bus rise. Super smooth ride on there. In fact, a lot of times I'll have a water bottle, I'll just set it right there in the carpeting, and it won't move. Like most RVs, every time you're going down the road, you have to grab onto something. You could be cruising down the freeway and walking back without grabbing on anything. Literally like being in a plane with smooth air. Once it is all pumped up too, I'll show you the airbags. They're older, but they have the little kind of weather cracks and stuff in there, but they're holding good, holding really good. Driving portion now to kind of show you how it runs. Everything's aired up in here, and just warmed up a little bit on here. As you can see, I got my PD4106 custom-made hat from my friend Joy, and got my PD4106 shirt. These things have quite a following, so come on in. This thing's beeping right here. This is the tire thing, which I'll include. It'll tell when the pressures are low on the tires, but they're low now because the tires haven't been driven yet, and they'll start warming up on pressure. But the tires, like I said, are old. They need to be replaced. They're probably about 10 years old, so it's not really a good idea to be running on them, at least long distances and stuff on there. But let me get this thing closed up. There we go. And this comes down to, for my lovely camera woman here. There we go. And if you want to look over here, just want to show that the pressure is close to 120 right now. And you get your oil pressure gauge. Temp gauge is still real cold. It's a little bit above 100. It gets up around 180, 190. That's where it usually should be on there. So. Okay, got a little dog there. Now it doesn't have AC. It does have the AC up here, but it doesn't have bus AC. Although the fan works, I can get the blower to work over here. And here I can hold that while you put the seatbelt on. You can see you got blower, and then you got your night setting, which the lights come on there. Okay. You also have these too. This is your leveling system. So if I start doing that, air starts coming out of different airbags, and you can level yourself out when you're stopped and want to camp. Okay, here we go. We still filming on there? Okay. See, we're in here. I'm going to take it off fast idle. There we go. Again, this kind of don't know the vroom, 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 but it runs fine. Clutch in, and then let's see. That spins a little bit here. Turn off this. That's the air. That's letting all the air out. Or the brakes off, I mean. So here we go. Check to see if I'm good to go. It looks like it. And it really is. When I first got this, I mean, it was challenging to drive, and I almost didn't buy it. It just felt so big. And with the manual transmission, I said, oh, there's got to be something wrong with it. I even looked up, how to replace the switch over to automatic, but when you do that, you're losing. I mean, you get like 7 miles to the gallon and your engine runs hotter. And now that I've been driving it for so long, it literally is not that hard to do, and it feels small. Now I feel like I'm like a little sports bus. So, but it is intimidating at first, and even the best of the drivers. I had a friend with me who has a commercial license, you know, drives big rigs, and this is a whole different scenario. So once you get used to it, let me get the fan going on here. That's nice. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll go ahead and shut it off right now. We running? Good, okay, so I'm heading back into traffic here. I'm gonna show you about shifting. So I'm hit the limiter, clutch in, clutch back out, and then boom. It's so easy to do, but when you're not used to it, it took me a long time to learn. And I thought something's wrong with it. I'm looking at forums and whatnot, saying, oh, there's something wrong with it. It's literally that easy. You just got to keep revving out to the limiter, and it likes that. The engine likes that, and then here we go. Now we're going in the third. Let's rev it out. Okay, there we go. Boom. And I'll show you how to do this. We'll go on a drive if you're not used to these buses at all. But you have to have experience driving big rigs like this. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to try to drive something big and learn the shifting on here. But I mean, this thing is, it drives great. There's a little bit of play in the steering wheel. You get used to that. It's really not that bad. Like I said, there's no power steering, so you kind of feel the road a little bit better. But super relaxing to drive. Again, I'm in third. Speedometer works up to about 55, and then it'll go faster, but it still reads about 55. So I use what's being filmed. Usually I use my phone. I have a speedometer app on there that's very accurate, and I just set it right up here, and then that works fine. But yeah, super easy. There's another way to shift here. I'll wait till we're up on another row, but yeah, go ahead and turn it off now. And all right, so now I'm going to show you how to drive without using the clutch. You have to always use it, of course, when you're stopped in first gear. But I'm going to rev it out. This I'm not quite as good at, but you kind of boom, and now it's boom, and it'll kind of come out. There it goes, and then you feel it, and there it is. I didn't even use the clutch at all. You can actually learn kind of how the gears are going since there's no sinker on here. Let's rev it out, and it kind of wants to pop out. Once you get to it, boom, let off a little bit. There we go. Boom, right in the third. It's that literally that easy. But yeah, like I said, it's a lot of practice. When you first get in here, you're gonna think you can't drive it. You're gonna think it's huge. And the more you drive it, the more it just feels like you're driving a car. So give it a chance. Anyway, I think for now, I'm on the freeway on ramp here. There we go. Third gear. Getting on the freeway. I'll show you that it gets up on moves on the freeway. Ah, police behind me. That's nice. Guess I better drive nicely. There you go, smoothly. So it's got 4 speeds. We're max speed here. Like I said, because my phone that's being used to film is usually on the app there. I don't know how fast I'm going, but I'm keeping up with traffic now. Well, this guy's blowing by me, but like I said, we'll do you know, 75, 80. I've done 85. I don't like to do that very long. It's just not good to do with these big tires, but it does cruise nicely, 75 and even 80. The steering even seems like it gets even more solid. Okay, so that's it there. From third to fourth, it's a little different. I got to rev it this time. You can also do it without the clutch too, and I'll show you that if you're interested and come down and look at it. But so putting it in, rev full, put it back in. There it goes, third gear. That easy. Okay, we'll make this the last video. Thanks for watching all what we have here. I just know when I purchased this thing, bought it, like I said, in Tennessee, and drove it all the way back to Reno, but I had 10 pictures basically to look at. So it's really, I hope this is helpful doing all this video for someone, especially if they're coming from out of state. Want to show you here the generator setup on here. So I don't know if up or down is the glow plugs to preheat, so I just kind of do them both up here a few times, and then I'll start it up. There it goes. So then we got showing all this stuff here. This is what I was talking about earlier. I don't know if this battery charger is working like it used to, because it seemed like it worked more like that. Turns that on, and if I do, excuse the camera movement here, so if I test the batteries now, it still kind of stays the same here. It used to go up a little bit higher on there. So regardless, you just, there's a plug underneath, you just stick a charger in there, and it'll automatically charge then if you do it that way. So up to you on that, but everything else works on here. Got the AC. Now the AC, the weirdest thing there, to keep from tripping, I usually just keep these things on low, and believe it or not, both of these on low, even 95-degree day or whatever, will get it'll get nice and cold in here. So you don't need to go any more than that. So those both go on. I also have this 40 by 20 white tarp that I can put on it, that I have all the cutouts for the AC thing on there, so if it's like super hot, you could actually put the tarp over and kind of stake it out, whatever, on there, and it'll keep it even cooler in here. So yeah, so we'll just go ahead and turn that off. I'll turn the generator off when I come out here. Oil, super easy to change on here, and then we've got the fuel filter, oil filter. If you ever change the fuel filter on here, you gotta learn how to bleed it. There's a manual pump right here. You kind of pump that up there, and then you loosen these. That's your high point right there, and then you turn it on, let it bleed out. You get the air out. And so that's how you do that. If you don't know how to do that, then just take it in for servicing when you do the filter. Let's see here. All these wires right over here. Just want to let you know, I know it looks messy. These were just from solar panel hookup right here that I put on the top way up there. So I have these wires just kind of thrown in there. I'll be taking those off. But I just want you to see a closer thing of the setup. It's a really good setup in here. And this is probably what it is or is not working, I don't know, on that aspect there. But there's a plug. You plug in a charger there and everything would work just fine. So we also want to show you here, this is the propane. I have 2 tanks in here that'll hold. I'll hook up one at a time, of course, on there. So anyway, I think that's about it. I'm sure, I mean, there's a lot I'll remember and whatnot, but if you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll answer them the best I can.